Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the third intro of this amazing video cast that I do. Today, welcome to today. It is almost over. July 4th is tomorrow. Jesus, I didn't realize that July 4th is quickly upon us, meaning it's tomorrow. And then Comic Con is in what, like 3 weeks? Whew. It's pretty crazy. For those that are at Anime Expo right now, I hope you're having fun. But at the same time, if you go to Comic Con at the same time, oof, I don't know how you're gonna do it, man. Because Anime Expo is pretty big, and it's an all weekend thing. And then you got 2 weeks after Anime Expo to wait for Comic Con, which Comic Con is its own entity, anyways. So, again, if you're at Anime Expo and you're watching this, hope you're having fun. Thanks for watching. So today's episode has been sponsored by ScatteredComics.com. Scattered Comics has been started by Jason Doobie, who I have the pleasure of hanging out with occasionally and talking about comic books and hanging out with some artists and some writers that work with Jason Doobie. They're all fantastic people, and they all make fantastic comic books. So, if you want to know more about Scattered Comics, go to your local comic book store in this Sacramento area and pick up a comic book that has the Scattered Comics logo on it. It's an S at the bottom. It's a red S that's got like stuff woven into the S. They're all pretty awesome comic books. They're independent. Everyone that works with Jason works really hard on getting comic books out and making it have great content, have great artists, and very detailed, by the way, too. And they're just all around good comic books. So go and support Jason Doobie and all of the people that are associated with him and pick up a couple of Scattered Comics because they're amazing. Alright, so this episode today was Dan from the Dan Sucks podcast. He runs the TBP Studios. Cannot say that in one running sentence. I met Dan. Oddly enough, we'll talk about it. Will be in the show, but Dan and we ran into each other at San Jose Comic Con. Big wow, it's a Comic Con. And we hit it off. We like the same things. We enjoy the same things. We enjoy the same comedians. We aspire to be like the same comedians and everyone else that we aspire to. Also, what else? Also, he's just a pretty awesome guy, and he invited me to go see Stab last night at Lunar Cafe in Midtown Sacramento on L. The next one is going to be 2 weeks from now before Comic Con, so go on and check it out. Go to Lunar Cafe, I believe, either lunarcafe.com if there's not links there, or go to tbpstudios.com and check out those links and check out, the calendar for that stuff if they have a calendar. And I gotta say, that show was pretty awesome. I enjoyed myself thoroughly, and we'll talk about it more in this episode. So, yes. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode with Mr. Dan from the Dan Sucks podcast. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Talking Comics. What the shit? I'm sorry for being late.
No, don't be sorry. It's all good.
Because...
Not even that late.
No, it's just... I usually take 80 all the way down to Greenback. And as I'm going through the loop, right, the immediate just traffic.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
Well, it's Thursday, tomorrow's the 4th of July. I mean, it's a 4th of July on a Friday. It's going to happen.
I know. So I had to go, like, all the way around.
Not even that. It's all good. Me and Ben were talking. We were just chatting it up.
I know. Good. I don't like keeping my guest waiting.
It's all good. No problem.
I broke maybe 7 laws of the California Handbook. I may need to go tend to that lady's wounds later. No, I didn't
I
hit her.
apologize to all the families of the pedestrians that I killed.
Yeah. And to the Starbucks lady that I just threw money at and then grabbed whatever was there. No.
Nice.
No. No. You go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Dan Herrera. I run a podcast called Dan Sucks. And,
It's a good podcast.
Oh, thank you.
It's
I appreciate it.
I listen to it on the way home sometimes, and
Nice.
it's pretty awesome. I met you guys. Oddly enough, this is the weird thing. Me and him were talking about how I was trying to tell him about my I call it the Nerd of Steel costume because it's the Man of Steel costume in Nerd of Colors. And I was telling him that, thinking he was gonna like blow his mind or something. But it turns out that he was sitting like right
two seats.
Yeah, 2 seats.
2 seats over.
Over what, 2 years ago?
Last year.
Last year. And so I'm like, this is kind of weird.
I was like, I totally remember you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So it was weird, but I think it's kind of saying something.
Oh, of course. It's saying a lot of things.
Yeah, it's saying
I'm a weirdo for remembering everything that goes on in my life. It says that you made a very memorable mark in my brain, which is great. It means you're dedicated.
Yes.
It means lots of things. And you even did equipment that night.
Yes.
Nice.
My equipment was, I'm a huge Power Ranger fan. Huge fan.
Yes, I got the whole lowdown at SatCon this year about all the Power Ranger stuff from you.
And my favorite episode of Doctor Who is when he was riding a Tyrannosaurus, I can't say.
A Tyrannosaurus Rex?
No. The other one with the shield and the horns.
Oh, the
Triceratops, right? Yes. I loved it. And so my brain was like, listen, you love the Power Rangers and Doctor Who. What if the Doctor somehow got into the Power Rangers time loop, and as they're getting
which is not unspeakable.
No.
I mean, that could happen.
Exactly. And so while Billy is getting while the helmet's coming on, it pushes him out of the way, the TARDIS pushes Billy out of the way, and Matt Smith just all of a sudden jumps in, and he's got, he's a Power Ranger now, and you know how Matt Smith is.
And Matt Smith was the guest at that show.
Right, so therefore it made sense for me to say that, but it didn't come out that way.
Well, one thing I noticed is they didn't quite understand what you were saying.
No, and when I said it, I'm like, no, I don't even understand what I just said.
Hey, you're talking to literally millions of people, or thousands, or hundreds of thousands, or whatever. But I get it.
Yeah.
I totally
get
it.
And I'm in like the unveiling of the Nerd of Steel costume, and so just like everything's running all at once, and I think I freaked out Chris Hardwick because immediately,
which isn't hard.
No,
which is not hard to do.
Immediately after the last guy moved out of the way. I saw his eyes when he saw the whole thing. His eyes were from like this to like. It was like, I've never seen this before. And it didn't help that I had a cup on because you got to wear
you have to. With tights, you have to.
Yeah, and I've tried to find the smallest one to not make it look like something.
You're just hiding a squirrel.
Yeah. Basically. But that didn't happen, so I think that threw him off as well.
Maybe. Okay.
But,
maybe.
Yeah, that was fun. Anyways, you do a podcast called Dan Sucks.
I do.
It's amazing.
I do.
I also saw you at Big Wow.
That's where the first time I saw your
Assassin's Creed cowboy costume.
Yes.
Which was pretty awesome. I didn't think no one was gonna, because I brought Arrow costume. I did that Saturday.
That's the first time I saw you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I made I just updated it and made the mask. And then I brought Red Arrow just in case I wanted to do it. But I forgot that I had my red shoes in the trunk, so I was like, oh, I don't have no red shoes. So I'm not going to be Red Arrow. So I brought, my Assassin's Creed Cowboy one. And as soon as I walked in, by the way, I'm notorious for being early to everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's
not a bad
just
thing.
like
it's not a bad thing.
The earliest, I will be the first one there.
Nice. That's good.
It is, but at parties, I will wait, right? I will wait the longest time and somehow still end up being the first one there. So I was like the first one there at the con, and I'm just walking around, going, this is, trying to act like cowboys, walking around. And apparently everyone flipped out on how awesome my costume was.
Yeah, it was good.
Like Jessica Negri's photographer
Mm-hmm.
stopped me and was like, "Listen, we need to do a photo shoot now."
Nice.
And I'm like, "All right." And so we were doing all these photos, and then I went over and I met another guy in the Jessica Negri line, and I went over to Jessica Negri, and like I was a little nervous at first because it's Jessica Negri.
Yeah, right.
But when I was talking to her, I'm like, "Oh, she's this girl. That's cool." And she was giving me tips and everything, and afterwards, he comes over to me and he puts his hand on his shoulder. He's like, "By the way, when I retweeted your thing, everyone thought that was the new Assassin's Creed." So everyone thought he was breaking like news or something.
Well, on the last episode of my podcast, we talked about your costume,
Right.
and we're like, yes, that is what I think 4 should have been instead of Black Flag. It should have been some type of Western thing
Right.
where Rockstar and Ubisoft teamed up, and they brought was that
Red
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
They brought that into the assassin world, and I think that would have been your costume, and that would have been perfect.
Because when they were announcing, I was thinking they were going to announce, like they said they're announcing the new Assassin's Creed, and I'm like, oh, please be the cowboy, because I will get so much more press.
Yes.
If it is.
Yes.
So, no, but now San Diego's coming up. I wanted to do a ninja.
Less than a month.
Yeah, I wanted to do a ninja, but then as I'm just like walking around talking to my friends, I'm going, what Assassin's Creed would you like to see, a ninja or an LA Noir? And everyone flipped out when I said noir, and they're just like,
I think that's a little more different.
Yeah, so I'm doing a noir one.
Nice, very nice.
I got everything. I had everything, except I just had to order a trench coat from Japan.
Nice. Okay.
Because apparently Japan clothes fit me very perfectly. So Amazon, you go on my Amazon Pays, and it's just like all Japanese clothes.
I don't let people see my Amazon account because it's quite weird. It's quite strange.
It's like It's like Japanese clothes, hidden Assassin's Creed weapons, Power Rangers.
Well, like I feel like my Amazon, this is what people bought.
Yeah.
Would show up on like an at midnight episode.
Because I also help women on the side with their dating problems. And before they do that, I have a little square thing. And before they come to me and start just spewing all of this mindless, it's not mindless, but all of this stuff that's just like, really, you just need to do this.
Yeah.
Kind of, I'm like, oh, I just go, here, swipe first. And then I let them tell me about the Laguna Beach drama that's going on. So,
nice.
So what was I going with that?
Your costume.
Oh, so it's got a whole lot of like dating advice books. Like I have Greg Barrett's, like 3 of Greg Barrett's books.
Okay.
On my Amazon. So yeah, my Amazon. I think both of our Amazons would be a little weird.
Plus, my girlfriend she's doing. This year she's doing 3 costumes. She's doing the Lady Thor that she always does.
Nice.
She's setting up or she's done with the Black Canary because I have my Neil Adams Green Arrow in the works. And then the third one is Final Fantasy X-2, Riku.
Nice.
So
that's gonna be.
So a lot of her stuff is very, at least a lot of her Amazon searches are very skimpy. And it's like you can look through that and be like, okay, that'll probably lead to some weird things.
Yeah, that would. But so I'm gonna be. I'm gonna put an A, stitch an outline of the A in red on the back of the trench coat.
Nice.
And then I wanted to do. I had a hidden blade, but I didn't want to do 2. I wanted to do like a hidden gun in this hand and then a hidden blade in this hand.
Yeah, totally.
But it's not working. The hidden gun thing's not really working very well.
You'd have to do like I guess that would. You could probably mix that with the Green Hornet a little bit.
Kind of. It's like I tried it out making a spring-loaded one and putting a gun on there.
Or just get his knockout gas balls. That'll work too.
That's true. So
just get smoke bombs.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with a Tommy gun.
Yeah, that'll work too. So nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's gonna be pretty awesome. And it's just Comic-Con is coming up, so
it is. It's right around the corner, and I'm like, I spent way too much money this year that I do not have any more for Comic-Con, and there's so many things that I'm going to want to buy. It's going to be ridiculous. Like I'm not going to. I'll probably go to one of the at midnights, but I'm not going to Nerdist this year. I'm not going to Wootstock.
Oh.
I'm not going to a lot of things that I did last year because I spent a lot of money, and I'd like to go walk around and visit a few people. Hopefully, get some of my comedian friends to hang out with me and stuff. But I'm gonna go see a bunch of comedy shows and
that'll be cool.
Live a different life.
Yeah,
this year.
I mean that's what Comic-Con's for, is to experience everything.
So much. There's so much. You can't do it all in one year.
No, because if you try to do it all in one day, you'll end up in your hotel room just like, no, that was a bad idea.
Yeah, or dead on a street somewhere just out of exhaustion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to do. It's pretty ridiculous.
Or did you know when I was there one year, by the way, it's a great place to meet just friends. Just like meet strange people and end up to be friends.
Of course.
That happened to me. We were walking by and somehow I ended up with a posse of just people I met on the street.
Yeah.
And we all these common interests, and we're all just like, oh, let's hang out.
Well, that's what was great about the Geek and Sundry Lounge at Jolt and Joe's. We would go and see like the same people there every 4 or 5 days that we were there, and we'd just hang out and start talking and playing games together. And then next thing you know, Will Wheaton's standing right behind you, going, "Oh, hey, what's up, guys?" I'm like, "Oh, hi, Wesley."
Yeah, and it seemed like we had talked for it seemed like we were friends forever.
Yeah,
and we're like, no, we just met. And we saw this guy with one of those lightsabers, one of those effects ones.
Yeah,
just getting into it by himself, just like doing this and flips and and I'm just like, only in Comic-Con.
Only at Comic-Con. Yeah. Only at Comic-Con will you see a depressed or a really drunk Spider-Man.
Yes.
Or a really, really happy Batman, which is not very common.
Right. Or Hugh Jackman in his Wolverine outfit.
Yeah.
And people going, it's all right, Wolverine costume. It's like,
really? It's like, no, that's actually him.
That's Wolverine.
You weirdos.
You do realize it's Hugh Jackman, right?
Or Bryan Cranston walking around in a Bryan Cranston mask.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. I think Matt Smith was in a
Bart Simpson mask. Yeah. When I was looking at the Star Trek stuff, Felicia Day was on the other side of the glass.
Nice.
And I'm just like,
but
I can
see her.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't want to bother her. She's talking, obviously. So.
Well, speaking of friends and like how easy it is to make friends there, we were. It was getting near the end of the night. We wanted to get some food, so we went back to Jolt and Joe's, where the Geek and Sundry people were doing their stuff, and we saw a group of people coming down with Felicia in the head, and just going through. We're like, "Oh, hey!" And they're like, "Oh, hey, we're going. We're just gonna go out for a second. We'll be right back, and we'll hang out or something." I was like, "I just said hey, but awesome. All right,
all right, that's cool. Sweet."
And then I saw a bunch of people from the guild there, and I was like, "Hey, you! I know you." He's like, "Hey, you want to take a picture?" I was like, "Sure."
Awesome.
Comic-Con was probably my first year was last year, and that was probably the best vacation I've had in a very, very long time.
I finally got in last year, and that was when I had my Nerd of Steel costume. I didn't bring anything else because in my mind, I was going to be like the most memorable costume ever because I overhype myself up all the time.
Everybody does that.
And so as I'm walking, it's just like everyone's not understanding what I am.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, that's cool.
Well, and I like guys like you and me who we look up to Nerdist Industries and look at how their business model and what they do, and we want to follow it. That's basically what my network is based off of. And then you go to these cons and stuff. It's like, who?
Yeah,
it's not as big in their life as it is in ours.
Like, what are you talking about? I thought we were all the same people here.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's what I model my thing off of too. Because when I had 2 jobs, I always think every time I'm busy, I think of Chris Hardwick's impression of what's his name, Ryan
Seacrest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Him just like, gotta stay busy, gotta stay busy.
There's 2 of him, or there's 2 or 3 of him.
Yeah, but when I had 2 jobs, I would work from 6 in the morning to 12:15 in the morning, go home, research some interesting nerdy news kind of stuff, do my video, edit it, let it edit, grab my lunch, go to work from 7 at night to 1 in the morning, and just do it every week. I did it for a month.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, after a month, I'm like, I can't do this. Not by
Yeah,
myself.
well, it's something that you definitely need help with. Like I have an entire crew behind me that supports me and everything I do, and I've got people that do their own podcast and they're very capable of doing it. So that's nice to have.
Right.
And then things like Stab that we did last night. I'm just producing. I'm just sitting in the background saying, okay, I'll press record. That's pretty easy enough for me, and
Yeah.
then I get to listen to a comedy show the whole time. And like it's a lot to do, and I kind of create work for myself. I'll start doing news of my own, or I'll start doing. I had 3 podcasts at one point.
Right.
We're developing a YouTube show. There's a lot of things that I model the Nerdist Industries after, but at the same time, it's like I'm trying to make it my own. I'm doing my own comedy. I'm doing a little bit of stand up on the side as well. So I try to stay up and at 'em, but at the same time, it's like I'm also a student in college. I'm getting as many degrees as
You possibly can.
as I enjoy doing, and yeah, I mean it's tough, and you gotta pace yourself sometimes before you pass out and don't wake up.
Yeah, it's just like I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, the daily caffeine consumption for me is ungodly.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Same.
Because I'm not like here. You and me, we know what we're talking about, so
Mhm.
it doesn't sound like it's like, oh, you get to do these awesome things. Why you get to? No. First of all, there's a lot of, like he says, there's a lot of work involved in it.
There is tons of work. Like I get so the reason my podcast is called Dan Sucks is because of how many people tell me I hate you for doing all these cool things, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, technically, you guys could all be doing it too if you're
Right.
willing to put in the work for it. Because I mean, I don't necessarily get upset when people tell me you're very lucky for being in this business. Like, I wrote a strategy guide for Call of Duty. I wrote many reviews for other companies, and like I did that because I put myself out there, and I tried to. I don't step on people, and I try to help people, and I dedicate my life to doing all this work, and it's like I try not to get offended, but it's like I work hard. I don't just have things handed to me.
Yeah, and then people are just like, they're telling you, why are you tired? And I'm like, listen. Okay.
Why is your podcast called Comics and Coffee?
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you, if there wasn't coffee, it wouldn't be comics.
Right. And people ask me that, and like, how do you come up with that? I'm like, well, I found myself like when I was just working one job, I found myself writing every single day off I had. I'd go work out, then I'd go to Starbucks. I'd write at least for 2 hours. I'd read some comic books, and I'd obviously drink coffee. And then, like, when I was going through trying to figure out what to call my show, I was like, oh,
it's pretty easy, right?
That makes sense.
Seems like it was a pretty cut and clear thing.
Yeah.
But even cut and clear, they don't always come through.
And it wasn't. Like I said, I overhyped myself up. And my first notion of wanting to do this show was like make it like a late night kind of talk show, like Jimmy Fallon and Craig Ferguson, because that's who I love. I love watching that, and I love watching Craig Ferguson, and I love watching At Midnight, and I love watching The Daily Show, and it's just I love all doing that because if you give me all 3 of those shows, I would rather sit there on a Friday night and just watch all of that instead of go out and party and stuff like that.
It really takes a special person to do.
Yeah. So initially, that's what I'm trying to work up towards is to wanting to make my actual show that I want to where I have, I get out there in a suit and do like a little monologue and then sit down and have a couch.
Right.
I had in my living room / office that I call. I have a desk right next to a couch. I have my desk right next to my couch.
Nice.
So for a while, I tried to work where I had an iPad stand, and I tried to get to work to. I'm like, this is gonna be amazing. Now I'm gonna, everything. But it takes a lot of work for one guy to do that.
Yeah.
But,
well, and money and resources.
Right. And I only have one job now that's $9 an hour, so I'm not complaining about that. But at the same time, there's a lot of life stuff that happens. So I can't really be like...
That's what we've been realizing lately is life does happen, and life does happen sometimes pretty hard, and you can't stop that, and you can't help it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got one show that's kind of on a little bit of a hiatus. I mean, we upload as much as possible, but at the same time, are the main guys. He's got life going on. He's busy, and
Yeah.
you can't. I mean, you can't do anything about that, no matter how hard you try.
Yeah, and you feel
Things will
feel
happen.
kind of just like, huh, but I wanna
Mhm.
go back to
Mhm.
that because that was fun, and I
Until that
enjoyed
starts
it.
giving you a living, there's
Yeah.
not much else you can do
Yeah,
if you have to do other. I mean, you have other priorities.
yeah. So when that does happen, I
Mhm.
can just leave the black polo and khakis that don't fit me and not look like a 12-year-old boy, which is ridiculous, by the way.
Hey, whatever pays the bills. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to be uh, a pizza boy back in the day, where I'd have black pants that didn't fit me and a green shirt that hung off my shoulder basically because it was worn by so many different people, and that's what paid the bills for many years. So you got to do whatever you can.
Yeah. At the same time, like everyone is like thinking I've made a huge mistake. I'm like, no, no, no. I am more happier than I ever
Mhm.
been, and I've had more opportunities. Like if I didn't quit the other job, I wouldn't have been able to go to Big Wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't been able to meet you again, and none of this would ever happen.
All right.
So I'm really happy I did that. It's just that sometimes you're just like, hey, remember those big checks you got?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not coming. So it's like, but it's okay because we're
Yeah.
happier and we're doing what we actually want to do
Exactly.
instead of
I was working for a large corporation that was mainly for beverages,
right.
and it's the biggest one in the world. You can probably guess what it is. But that was definitely paying the bills. But I was working 60 hours a week. I mean,
Yeah.
that took up my entire life, and it was a physical labor job. So when I came home, I didn't want to do anything. I'd write for an hour and just pass out. And then finally, I got a job doing something else that allows me to take time off, and actually it's by contract, so
Right.
it's about the amount of work I do. So when I go and I do it, I get paid for that. It allows me to get these weekends to go to conventions, and we get to cover them. I wouldn't be able to get it press or any type of pass to any of this if it wasn't for this huge pay cut that I had to take, just like you. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to do something like that.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes.
you
gotta
have to take that
sacrifice.
leap,
Hmm.
and it's just
And that's when you go, don't tell me that I'm just lucky
Yeah.
for getting all these things going. I've sacrificed enough.
Yeah. I sacrificed living by myself.
Yeah.
I live with my sister.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so-
I live with 2 other people.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I don't mind living with my sister because she's let me only pay her $200 in rent, which is great because you
Nice.
can't find a place for $200.
No. Not very easily.
Yeah, unless it's a box, on the street somewhere. No, okay, so let's talk about some stuff that
What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about your thoughts on the the whole DC movie thing because
Okay.
I found out you and me like the same superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
I love Flash. You love Flash.
Yep. Flash is my number 2.
Yes, I love Arrow.
My number 1.
Right. I like Green Arrow, but as I've seen Arrow, I'm just like, I'm sorry, I like this guy more because he's brooding. Yes.
Yes.
He's not so sarcastic.
Yeah, that's one thing that being a comedy guy kind of threw me off. But
Right.
I still like the show more than I think any other show has done justice.
Right.
No pun intended.
Happy
For their characters.
Yeah.
I think they've actually done a good job, and they took the Seattle scene and Star City and everything.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you too, when I used to live in Seattle, I got an apartment complex that had a roof access, specifically for the roof access.
Nice.
So one night, like, it was locked every time. So every night I'd go up there, check, see if it was locked. One night it wasn't locked. I immediately shot back downstairs, put my Tim Drake Robin costume on.
Nice.
Immediately went back upstairs to the roof. And by the way, there's no I literally I went balls to the wall, just on the edge, and I'm my whole dream is coming true. By the way, the adrenaline's poking me,
Yeah.
going, hey, you fall, dumbass. That's it.
It's done.
Yeah, so I'm just
there's no more.
Yeah, so I'm just I'm perched there and I'm just enjoying it because the wind is blowing properly and everything.
Cape's flowing.
Yeah, right. And then I saw a cop just roll by and was like, all right, be cool, be cool, be cool. He's not turning around. He won't turn around. I immediately see him turn around. I'm like, oh, time to go home. So, but no, yeah. So we know Marvel is doing great
Mhm. Marvel now has actually been a good series.
Right.
I mean, they've had some cool stuff come out.
Right. Movies, TV shows, everything.
Movies, definitely. I mean, with
Right.
Disney's budget, with Disney's type of wallet, I think you can do a lot of things and not screw up very easily.
Now, I like both of us. We are a fan of DC. But at the same time, when we see the movies, it kind of hurts because when you make a Superman Returns movie and you see the trailer for it and you're like, oh, that looks good. And then you see the movie and you're just like, what happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, one, it doesn't help that I wasn't always the biggest fan of Superman.
Right.
The Man of Steel movie, I think, did him a lot of justice and actually showed that he was more than just a Superman. He actually had Clark Kent and how he was trying so hard to just be human and be normal. And people don't realize how much of a challenge that is. And I think Man of Steel gave him a little more justice and a little more reign into who he actually was.
I wrote that script.
Oh, yeah?
I wrote the first draft of that script.
Oh, yeah?
Seriously.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. I have it at home. Me and an associate of mine who has passed away. But when we were in Seattle, we heard that after Returns was crappy, we heard that the writers got canned. So we busted out a first draft of the script, and we kept trying to get it going, and then there was like a discrepancy between me and girls. Whole other story. And I find out that he went to LA and he worked on the trailers. Like he went from Man of Steel all the way to The Death of Superman, and he made trailers for it and everything.
Wow.
And it looked great.
That's awesome.
Art and everything. I came up with the action sequences, and he came up with the story, and so he just went to LA and he met with the VP of Warner Brothers. And I'm like, no one meets with the VP of Warner Brothers.
Nobody does that.
No, not even Tom Cruise meets with the VP of Warner Brothers. And he said he met with him and he gave everything to him. And 2 weeks later, Man of Steel has a script now. And
nice.
I'm like, so.
And you're here.
Yeah. My dad constantly reminds me of that.
Nice.
Yeah, but no.
That's what dads are for.
I know. And then we get Dark Knight. Dark Knight trilogy, which was brilliant. But then after the third one, it's just like, oh, you're not getting any more.
Yeah.
And then Green Lantern came along. And we're like,
again. I mean, there's so many problems with the Green Lantern that the casting was bad.
Right.
The script it was probably good. I just don't think they had the right actors for it. They had people who've never read a comic book in their life.
That's true.
There was that huge problem. I mean, they made Hal Jordan like this nice, innocent dude, and he's a jackass.
Yeah.
Like, he's meant to be like a douchebag, and he just wasn't in the movie.
I think the directors were like, listen, Ryan, you know how you are normally?
Yeah.
Just do that.
Just do that. Yeah, exactly. In every movie you're ever in,
just
play that character. Yeah, but he didn't. And it's like, no, come on now.
Yeah, play Deadpool.
Yeah, basically.
I know.
Deadpool. What the hell? Like,
I know. That was pre Marvel getting picked up at Disney.
Yeah.
So.
But still, what was that? That wasn't even Deadpool.
I don't know.
What was that?
I don't know. It was a guy apparently able to bend his elbows with full-size katanas in his arms.
Whatever.
I don't know. There's about 4 movies us nerds as a unit do not speak of.
Yeah.
Wolverine Origins, Green Lantern, Catwoman.
Yeah.
And what was the other movie?
Well, any video game movie.
Yeah. I don't know the other one, but those 3 we do not speak of.
No.
Although the last 3 Batmans before Dark Knight.
Oh.
The Arnold one.
Yeah, so we had Batman Returns.
Right.
Batman.
Right.
Batman
Forever.
Batman Forever.
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin, yep.
Which, by the way, nerdy side note, Chris O'Donnell, who's playing Dick Grayson, was wearing Nightwing's costume.
Yep.
With a cape.
Yep.
And, yeah. and he's calling himself Robin.
There's too many people.
Ugh.
There's too many people making movies that have never read comic books in their life, and then wonder why all these fans get so up in arms about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. Go read the comic book before you make a movie adaptation on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
or maybe watch a show on Nickelodeon that's very popular.
Do something.
And don't call him Ong instead of Aang.
Oh,
I'm not talking about anything.
There's a... we were having a conversation yesterday about movie adaptations and... we were talking about Marvel and DC.
Right.
And we're talking about how Marvel's got all these great things going for them for movies, and how they're just killing. There's too many Marvel fanatics going crazy about how the movies determine which one is on top.
Right.
Yeah, $1 billion movie is gonna obviously put you on top money wise, but DC is the only one that can do actual comic book cartoons, and really a whole book series together. I mean,
yeah,
and Marvel can't make a cartoon to save them their life.
I know, it's horrible.
But like right now I'm really into Young Justice. I think that's a great show.
That is.
I just finished Justice League Unlimited.
Another fantastic cartoon.
And then when it first came out, I watched the original Justice League cartoon.
Yes, that was
great too. I mean, their cartoons are amazing.
Yeah, their cartoon movies just like.
Mm-hmm. The Batman Beyond movie was great.
Oh, that was great.
The series was great.
Right.
Just the animated Batman was great.
Oh, that and Power Rangers like solidified my childhood right there.
And then I mean, who does a better Joker than Mark Hamill? No. Except
Heath Ledger when he was in Dark Knight.
And that was because of his physical personality and how he played him. But like, Mark Hamill's voice was it was perfect. It was amazing.
And then when I brought him back on to do Batman Beyond cartoon, the movie, chills.
Yeah.
Chills when I heard that laugh again.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Well then let's talk about video games.
All right.
All the Batman Arkham series.
Amazing.
Is absolutely amazing.
Just to have the same two people voicing the same two characters.
Yeah.
But in a video game.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then you get fucking Origins, and you're like, what is this shit? And then Conrad comes on. He's like, "Hey guys, don't worry about that. We didn't do that. We got
Arkham Knight coming out. We're gonna fix this.
Yeah, we were busy doing this game, and they show the trailer like, oh, okay, we forgive you. Yeah, we forgive you.
That's beautiful. Yeah. You had Troy Baker doing Two-Face.
Oh.
He was great as Two-Face, and then he took over for on Origins. He took over for Joker, and he did a good job. And I'm not gonna knock him, but I mean, I think Hollywood kind of sucks his private parts a little too much.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I just Troy Baker too though. That man.
He's done a lot.
Oh, that man's a genius.
He's done quite a lot.
Yeah.
Booker DeWitt is one of my favorite characters.
Did you listen to him on the Indoor Kids?
Yes.
Yeah, and how he was doing BioShock and The Last of Us at the same time.
Same time.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. Well, he has his hands in everything.
Yeah, but that's like, how do you have a mental capacity to do both of those?
He is a professional. He's a very good professional.
To do a very, very depressing, amazing game,
and
then go over to another game that is completely about racism and religion.
Well, he was doing the two contenders for Game of the Year in everybody's website, everybody's magazine.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know if I was doing that, I'd be able to do it. But afterwards, I'm like, no, I need a year off.
And then he went and did Joker right after that? Yeah.
And it's like, that proves to you how amazing of a time we live in now, to where you can have a man do all that, and yet still go and make another, and then be like an iconic Joker character.
Yeah. I guess you did sit up there. I don't know.
Why does people argue so much all the time about just like...
There's
we should all just be just like enjoying it.
We should all work together too.
Enjoying
there's too many people. I mean, while competition is good for everything, for business, for quality, for a lot of things.
Right.
I think sometimes there's a little too much of it, and it ruins integrity. It ruins the way things are made. And as long as we all work together, I mean, I think there's something that can come.
Yeah, there's something. Like me and my friends at work, Like we have comic book readings
Mhm.
like every morning because there's a slow time.
Mhm.
But we kind of poke fun at each other because one side likes more DC than the other side, and it's
Yeah,
just
that's always gonna happen.
we're just poking fun. But we're all gonna go see the Batman Superman movie,
Right, exactly.
just like we're all gonna go see that Ninja Turtle movie.
Like my friends they always like point me out because they're all Marvel fans,
Right.
and Marvel all the way, and they don't realize that while I'm a huge DC fan, I still love lots of Marvel characters.
Oh yeah.
Deadpool with Brian Posehn was amazing.
Yes.
And Jerry Duggan, both guys I met at Comic-Con and were super awesome. Who else? Wolverine, the newest series is excellent. I mean, those books are great.
Hawkeye.
Well, X-Men is actually one of my favorite groups next to the Justice League.
Yeah, I love the '90s X-Men.
I just saw the book over here. Oh, Uncanny X-Men is one of the best books out there, I think. I mean, there's just
Yeah, Guardians.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy looks great.
Yeah.
It looks amazing, and I'm a huge Chris Pratt fan, so I'm excited for that movie.
And I love how when he was on Parks and Recs,
Mhm.
and he came back all ripped, and everyone's like,
Yep.
"Whoa,
Yep.
what happened?" He's like, "Oh, turns out you just needed to stop drinking beer."
Yeah, he's like, I drink a lot of beer.
And one of my friends that's a little obese is like, "No, sir, that is a lie, because I stopped drinking beer, and look."
Yeah,
And
he did some work to
Yeah.
get ready for that
Yeah.
part. And then even looking at his new Jurassic Park screenshots,
Yeah.
he looks great in that too. And then I saw somebody comment they were looking at some of the Jurassic Park photos and were like, they're thinking Nathan Drake next.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you too. I'm totally DC fan too, and a Marvel fan
Mhm.
because I like the Flash. I love reading the Flash. I love reading Teen Titans.
Mhm.
I love reading Jason Hood and the Outlaws. Just all Batman. I
Yeah.
love reading, and then I love reading Hawkeye, and I love reading Guardians of the Galaxy. I love reading Iron Fist. I love just like
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
I guess I probably don't do a very good job because people will bring up characters that are basically in both universes, and I usually side towards the DC side of the part because
Right.
with a new Avengers coming out, a lot of talk about Thanos, and I'm like, I just can't get over how much Thanos is just not superior to Darkseid.
Yeah. Oh,
He's
Darkseid.
a second-rate Darkseid.
Come on, Darkseid would crush that.
Darkseid is one of my favorite villains.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah, Darkseid sent Batman to the past.
Mm-hmm.
What does Thanos do?
He's a glove.
Just threatens people to crush their skulls. Come on now.
What are you gonna do?
You can't do much.
The new X-Men Days of Future Past, where they did Quicksilver.
Right.
And the whole time I'm thinking, he does exactly what Flash does, except for Flash is a main character.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna go both ways. It's
right.
gonna do that forever.
You just see similarities to both things.
Mhm.
Like I would think I like teaming up more because I would think if Hawkeye and Green Arrow teamed up together, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
You'd have one guy who knows the lay of the land, who can actually call out and actually think about detective work and be Batman with an arrow.
Right.
And then you have Hawkeye, who arguably is probably the most skilled archer in comic books.
Right.
Like just when it comes to pure archery. I mean, Green Arrow he's my character and he's definitely an amazing archer, but Hawkeye's got the technology to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He can do anything he wants with a shot.
We do lists, so I'm gonna shoot out a list for you here.
Okay.
Right? All right. So, top 5 superheroes that you would want as like an ultimate team.
An ultimate team. Okay. Well, my top 2 would always be Green Arrow and Flash because they'd be the comedy, like break down the humor of everything.
Right.
I would probably throw Deadpool in there as well for part of that.
There we go.
Deadpool, maybe Wolverine, because they would be the tanks just running forward and taking all the damage. And then you'd have to throw a big hitter. I'd probably have the Incredible Hulk. Actually,
That's good.
I
That's
would
good.
definitely have the Incredible Hulk because you
Right.
have all these brains in there.
Right.
You have, I mean, Green Arrow and
The Flash.
the Flash, both basically one's a scientist,
Right.
the other one just has all this experience and he can do whatever. Who did I say? Wolverine
Right.
and Deadpool, who can take brute force and actually do a lot of damage. And then you have the Hulk. I mean, it depends on which Hulk we're talking about. Personally, it would if they had Red Hulk. I mean, you'd have so much brains in that group that they'd be unstoppable. But at the same time, Red Hulk could always just kind of say, "Screw you guys! I'm going to just fling you off from the side. I got this myself." Right. So, with that said, I think just the Incredible Hulk, Green Incredible Hulk, would be a good backup for everybody and be able to hold the team together like glue.
I would think that Deadpool and the Flash would be very good together because Deadpool would just be like, "Hey, Twinkle Toes, how about you just run really really fast that way, and I'll take these pointy things and stab a whole bunch of people."
Yeah.
So
I think that'd be great. Or have like dual Uzis just laying everybody out.
Yeah. I got flack for my team because everyone was like, "Oh, there's no big hitters in your team." I'm like, "Yes, but
you don't really need big hitters if you have the precision and you have the under the scope kind of people."
Right, because I had Tim Drake, great detective.
Okay, yeah.
Jason Todd,
arguably one of the better out of all the Batman and Robins and everything.
And so I had Red Robin, Jason Todd.
Okay.
I had Red Hood, Jason Todd.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy that is very good at.
So you have Jason Todd as two different characters in your group?
Tim Drake and then Jason Todd.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. So I'd have those two. By the way, Jason Todd doesn't give a fuck. So it will blast through things.
Yeah.
Detective, Tim Drake.
Yeah.
Arrow.
Okay. Another arguably good detective.
Right. So 2 detectives. Mm-hmm. And who else? I had Arrow and Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
And then who else? I had the last person I had was I think I had Gambit.
Okay.
As my last guy.
Okay.
So
what the 2 weaknesses that both of our groups have is we really don't have any superpowers.
It's true.
Like we don't have like Satana to just throw spells everywhere. We don't have lots of things that aren't supernatural. But I think that's why we kind of keep this group because I've always been a fan of the humans. Like all the human heroes, they're like Batman's always been the best to me.
Right, because
Green Arrow, Hawkeye.
He's just a human that solves.
Yeah, the same reason for Marvel I like Iron Man so much. He's just a genius that has all this money and throws it at good things.
Right. He's just a guy that's like, listen, I got this money.
Yeah.
I'm like a cool suit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go fly around and play hero.
Oh, my best friend could have a suit too.
Yeah.
Oh, my girlfriend and fiance could have a suit too.
Yeah.
We're gonna go fight crime.
Yeah.
Bye guys.
Yeah, and we don't necessarily need a chest thing anymore.
No.
So, you stop me from having a chest piece. Oh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I like my team.
I like my team as well. And I like your team, to be honest. We kind of, we have 3 characters that kind of intermingle.
So, I mean, that team is more of a ground support anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and with yours, you have Hawkeye and Arrow, who have specialty arrows that could basically keep everybody from the sky off of you.
And then Gambit could throw stuff and make it explode.
He could, yes, he does. That's a big hitter right there because of how much explosive he has. Plus, what's Hawkeye and Green Arrow without explosive darts?
Exactly.
Explosive arrows.
And then Jason Todd got a whole arsenal.
Oh yeah, he's got everything.
Yeah, and then
he'll shoot up a billion holes in 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, and then Red Robin has that cool glider suit and his bow staff and just.
Not to mention Red Robin and Red Hood, both amazing technical experts that can hack anything, really.
And very good acrobatic agilities as well. So I got like 3 acrobatic people.
Yeah.
So I mean...
So it's the League of Assassins, pretty much.
basically, but they're just good.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, exactly. Precisely.
Yeah. So, alright. What else? Oh, okay. So, your thoughts on Ninja Turtles? Because I've asked tons of people about the Ninja Turtles.
Like as a whole, or are we talking about
we're talking this new Ninja Turtles.
This new movie?
Because I know Ben is not going to go see this Ninja Turtles movie.
I am on the fence about it, to be honest. I mean, I love the Ninja Turtles. The Ninja Turtles was my childhood.
Right.
I dressed up for it many times as a kid.
I did too.
mean, I grew up being a total Donatello fan, and then became a Leonardo fan as I grew older, and then Raphael. Yeah,
Michelangelo.
yeah, I like them all, but like like certain parts of my life, I had different favorites. Like I'm starting to lean towards a Raphael right now because I mean he kind of does whatever the hell he wants.
Right.
And for Dungeons and Dragons terms, he's very chaotic, and that is what every vigilante is.
Right.
So
it's chaotic.
yeah, so it's perfect. But I don't know. I mean, I've been burned so many times by Michael Bay that I just don't know if I can do it again. The last thing I saw from Michael Bay was Battleship. No, it wasn't even Michael Bay, was it?
No.
No, that was a Michael Bay-esque director. But he was. I mean, obviously we have people that can do similar work and actually be better because Battleship wasn't that bad.
No.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad.
Had Rihanna in it.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I have no opinion right now. I'm gonna wait for the opening weekend to go through and then make my decision because they don't really look like turtles.
No. Johnny Knoxville's Leonardo.
Oh God. Yeah. That. I'm glad they took Jason Biggs out of there. He was Donatello, I think.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna wait for opening weekend to make my decision, but right now it's not looking good.
Me and my friends, we're gonna dress up, and we're going.
Okay.
Because my birthday's the day after that.
Okay.
So
that's a reason right there.
So I'm just like, fuck it, we're gonna go see it anyways.
Yeah,
so
that's
might
true.
as well just dress up. So,
that's true.
Well, there's a I'm gonna tell you because this girl doesn't watch the show anyway, so don't worry. We have girls that work with us, right? And they do their own thing, but they like joining in sometimes. And there's this blonde girl. I'm not gonna mention names because then they'll
find it somehow.
Yeah, whatever. There's this blonde girl
we'll talk about it after the show.
Yeah, no. This blonde girl, she when I wasn't there one day, she was saying how she was the Penny in the Big Bang Theory, our Big Bang Theory, because right. And the rest of us, we started laughing because we're like, no, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So she does some weird things too. So as we're talking about the Ninja Turtles thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we call over one of the girls that just hangs out with us, but not really into that stuff. But she comes over to us, and I go over to her. I'm like, hey, if I gave you a yellow leather jacket, would you be our April O'Neil, right? And she's like, first of all, why do you have a yellow leather jacket? I'm like, no, if I get one, would you be, right?
That was the question.
Yeah.
Answer the question.
Yeah, because she was kind of more attractive.
Yeah.
Bro, right? So as soon as I said that, because the other one was sitting right there, as soon as I said that, I felt eyes just right here.
I could feel the heat on my head.
Just eyes right here.
I feel you staring at me.
Yeah, just like, I did this on purpose because I wanted to see what would happen.
Right.
And so after we, dispersed and we're all eating lunch, I went over and like, did everyone feel the same eyes? Like, yes, we felt the same eyes. And we didn't even sit next to her. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
That should be interesting. I want to, as soon as you see it, I need you to call me and tell me what you thought of it, because that will probably help me determine whether I'm going to go see it or not.
Have you seen Transformers?
No.
Don't go see Transformers.
With Dinobots and Mark Wahlberg.
Don't go see Transformers.
No. Mark Wahlbergers, I hear it's opening down the street.
Yeah. Michael Bay managed to take maybe 4 genres and racism.
Oh.
And just, here's a movie. Because
awesome.
Not only were, like Jessica Chobot was saying on Nerdist News, that we were trying to be convinced that Mark Wahlberg was an inventor. No. He managed to mix Power Rangers, Godzilla, Call of Duty, and what was the last? And then what was the last one that I said? It was something like that. But he managed to take all of those and then throw in racism while making the Bugatti a samurai. And the guy that was in the Godzilla movie, that was the Asian guy, was voicing it. And so he had a thick Japanese accent, but the Bugatti was the samurai warrior. And I was like, this is so racist, it's not even funny. Oh, and Fast and Furious. That was the last one.
Oh.
Because there was like as the
I'm sure.
Transformers were fighting, the guys were fighting
Yeah.
in Japan on top of apartment buildings, just like in Fast 6. And
Well,
it's
in the
like,
favelas.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh
I'm just
God.
like, this is why.
Oh
Why
God.
did we pay
No,
money?
why do I feel like that was just a Mark Wahlberg call? He's
I
like,
think
we're
so.
gonna do this.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this, or I'm leaving. I'm bouncing.
Yeah. I was like, why? Why did we pay money to see
I
this?
honestly don't see myself seeing that one.
Oh, it was horrible.
I mean, I grew up with Transformers too, as the cartoons. I had almost all the toys.
Yeah.
I was from the first one. I kind of enjoyed the very first Transformers movie.
Yeah.
And then
I think everyone enjoyed that one.
yeah, it was decent. It was a good Transformers movie.
And when they first transformed, we're just like,
yeah, exactly.
Amazing. Yeah.
But and then 2, and then 3, and it's like, okay, I've been burned twice now. I just need to go home.
And then when you bring the 2 small little Chevy Fits that turned out to be racist.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf. Man, I mean, what can you say? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it?
I would want to see more Bad Boys 3 movie than another Transformers movie.
Yeah. And I did enjoy Bad Boys 2, even though that was a very, very Michael Bay movie.
Yes.
I still liked it.
Yeah.
It was Michael Bay, but it had a lot of Ridley Scott aspect to it, which Ridley Scott's one of my favorite directors, and I think it was good.
Yeah.
I think it was decent. He did an okay job. I mean, people won't like me for saying that, but I don't care.
Right. Can I tell you the ending of this movie?
Go ahead.
Because you're probably not going to see it.
I'm probably not going to see it.
Optimus Prime. Good old Optimus Prime.
What? Wait, what?
Optimus Prime. Good old Optimus Prime.
Oh.
Who we've never known to fly. Ever, right?
Ever.
Never has been able to just be like this and just like, oh.
Just be Iron Man.
All of a sudden turns into Iron Man.
Oh, Jesus.
At the end, where Mark Wahlberg and the family's going down, right? They're going down, and all of a sudden, I think Michael Bay stole this. I see Optimus Prime do this, and I'm like, wait a minute. He's not going to do what I think he's going to do. And all of a sudden just takes off, swoops in, grabs Mark Wahlberg and the family, comes back seaside, and just like, here. Just like, lands and goes, ugh. And then the only good part of that movie was Stanley Tucci's comedic references. Because he was calm, but yet kind of like shouted at the top of his lungs at the same time, which was great. That was the only best part of the movie.
Yeah.
And then the end of the goddamn movie was Optimus Prime doing his whole little like monologue thing. Before he
Autobots
did
roll out, blah blah blah.
Before he did the monologue, he told the Autobots to watch the family, right? Then does his Iron Man thing again, and goes into space, and says that he's going towards his creators.
Wait, can Transformers have modifications? Like, are they allowed to do that?
I don't know.
Like they went like. Mark Wahlberg and his crew took his friends to the Fast and Furious hot rod shop,
right,
and added jet boosters to his feet, and
yes, but they didn't transform and turn into an Iron Man suit. Optimus Prime literally was like, stay here and watch the family, and does this, and just takes off. Saying how he's going to go find his creators in space. Like he's going back to Cybertron. Last time I checked, in the first movie you were talking about, Cybertron. It's gone.
Yeah.
What are you doing turning into Iron Man?
That's the whole premise of the first movie, is why Megatron's here and why he's trying to take over Earth. Yeah, I'm not going to go see it.
And somehow they take transforming technology and make it into like where the Americans now can transform anything. But it's not like what. It's more like the Matrix, free flowing kind of thing, and they could just transform in like somehow. I'm just gonna tell you the premise. You're probably not gonna see it. The premise is that they called it. I don't know what they called it, but they made it to seem like iPhone, like Apple's innovative technology,
Q-Core?
Right? Where they can transform into anything they want, right? So they were melting down Autobots and taking their technology and using it to where they can copy them and make them transform. But the technology...
Of course, another anti-human movie.
Right.
Yeah.
the technology, the base technology for that they were using was fucking what's his name? I'm so angry right now. What's the bad guy's name? I forgot. Megatron.
Megatron?
They're using the core stuff to get the copies to transform was Megatron's processor and brain.
Well, he is the one that can transform really into different things.
Right, but if you're trying to make Autobots that will control...
Yeah, you don't want to take the brain of the bad guy.
Right, and so it turns out that they just make clones of Bumblebee and Optimus, and then, like, Megatron has been infiltrating the whole, like, Stanley Tucci's company
because
the whole time.
Because all Transformers hack things.
Right.
Or at least all Decepticons.
Yeah.
They all hack.
This whole time has been running Stanley Tucci's company. And it's just like... Why? Yep. Really? Is this where you were going okay with the storyline of Mark Wahlberg trying to be an inventor to, you know what, fuck it. Let's let our 15-year-olds write the rest of this movie. And let's go to lunch.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And we'll come back and the script will be done.
They paid 14, 15 writers a couple $1 million each.
Yeah.
And said, hey, just
make
us a movie.
Whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just make us a movie.
Yeah.
That's all we want.
You get
and how can you blame them when they're #1 box office right now? Over 22 Jump Street, which I am probably going to go see either this weekend or next.
Yeah,
because 21 Jump Street blew my mind. Like, I didn't think that movie was going to be any good.
Right.
And it was great.
Yeah, you thought it was like one of those like campy remakes of an 80s movie, and then you saw it and you're like, this is fucking hysterical.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Just the two people that you wouldn't think are being
Jonah
a
Hill
good...
and Channing
being
Tatum.
a great comedic team.
And they're amazing.
Yeah. Gambit and Jonah Hill.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you excited about that?
I actually think that's a great
It might
pick.
be, yeah.
That's the second greatest pick from Wolverine.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Because he can be cocky, and he can be funny, and I can think he can do the accent very well.
Okay, yeah, probably.
And he can slim down. He can slim down, and
he's gonna have to slim down because he's pretty big.
Yeah, and just be that ripped, cocky dude.
Yeah.
That we all know and love.
And he can probably romance the hell out of Rogue.
Thank you.
That's. I mean, not many people realize that they get down. Like, they get down hardcore because Gambit's a smooth motherfucker.
Right. Even when I was like 12 and seeing the X-Men cartoon, I was thinking, they're gonna fuck.
Yeah.
They're gonna fuck eventually.
I mean, Gambit had his eyes on Rogue for a very long time, and he was a smooth criminal.
Oh.
And he just took it down.
Especially it was just like, oh, I'm on to me. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
He's having sex with her.
Yep. I was disappointed in not the casting, but the kind of the casting because they changed his accent a little bit in Night Stalker for X2.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of my favorite characters of the cartoon growing up, but when the movie came out, it was just like they could have done a little bit better.
Could have done a little bit, but
yeah.
Well,
Patrick Stewart as Professor X
you can't.
Is
there's
amazing.
nothing there.
And Ian McKellen is Magneto is great as well.
Just what happened after that, though? I mean, like,
the first X-Men movie was perfect.
Yeah,
it was absolutely perfect.
And then you just went like Wolverine Origins.
Oh God. See, and I've yet to see the Wolverine, which I
that
hear is much
good.
Better.
The Samurai Wolverine.
Yeah.
Mwah,
okay.
Great.
Okay.
And then the end.
I'm gonna have to go get that.
And then the end of Days of Future Past was fantastic.
I thought the whole thing, Days of Future Past, was
that
pretty
was
good.
Great. But just the ending when Wolverine fixed time, and I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah. It was very good, very nostalgic.
Yeah, and then to find out that they're not using those people for the next movie, I'm like, what? Wait a minute.
So my theory was they're gonna do a bunch of movies in between Days of Future Past and the ending of Days of Future Past, and I also 1, 2, and 3 fall in between those as well.
That disappoints me.
I don't know what I really hope they do something, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We will see.
All right. So, did you want to plug anything as we're winding down to this?
Go to tbpstudios.net and find Dan Sucks, find the Green Up podcast there, find An Idiot's Array.
Which they're hilarious. I listened to that podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, Oh my God, I was there.
They're a bunch of cool guys. I've known
Yeah.
them for years. Yeah, I mean, go to TVP Studios. That I run that website. I run the networks there. I don't let people on that I don't think are gonna have fun. Not I don't. Whatever you want to do,
Right.
do it. That's
Yeah.
my motto. Whatever you want to do it. But if you're not having fun,
Don't do it.
I don't really want you part
Yeah.
of the network anymore.
Exactly. Like
That's
if
all that matters to me.
if
Go have
you're
fun.
not having fun sitting on this table watching a woman in a bright red polo shirt and blue jeans walk by and wonder, what are you doing with your life? Don't do it.
Basically, if you're not having fun, your viewers are not having fun.
Right.
I think we had a lot of fun here.
I think we had an
I had
amazing
fun,
time.
that's for
I
sure.
have fun all the time when I bring new people on here because I just want to get their opinions and we.
Oh, one thing I always forget is
Oh.
my Twitter. Follow me. I've been on several friends and guests podcasts, and I'm like, oh, I've never said my Twitter. My Twitter at Danotage, DANOTAGE.
Yes.
That's where you're gonna get all the news and everything
Right.
that's happening.
And that's when we started talking.
That we connected through Twitter.
Yeah, because I was listening to a podcast, like I gotta find this guy.
And you probably didn't hear my Twitter handle until
I just
until like episode 11 or something.
No, I just went on after I heard your show. I just went on the internet, and I'm like, oh, Dan sucks. Oh, Twitter, got it.
Yeah,
all right,
because I don't say my Twitter handle. And,
Yeah.
I mean, for some reason, people are finding me, which is weird. I don't know how you find me when I never say it. I guess go to brucethumbs.com and listen to that podcast there. I'm the producer and co-host there. I'd probably say it there. Who knows? Who knows?
What? I just say because I have short nerdy guy on all platforms except for Twitter. No, Twitter
Your
now.
Twitter.
Now my Twitter, because I used to have a Twitter that was short nerdy man because short nerdy guy was taken,
Ah,
and I'm like, go fuck yourself.
did somebody change his name or what happened?
I don't know. So I made a new one called short_nerdy guy.
Mm,
So go to that Twitter.
yeah, go
Because
to
that
Twitter.
one's better. And that one has Jason St. John on it, who's the Red Ranger, who's immediately followed me when I put it up. I'm like,
Nice,
that's awesome.
nice.
Jason Dave Frank's not following me.
Oh.
I'm following him, but
Yeah.
oh man. All right. Well, I thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me on.
No problem.
It's been fun.
Yes, I thank Ben for letting us do this,
Thank you, Ben.
and it's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, almost forgot to mention, Ben, it's next week, right? The 11th for the game night?
Yeah.
Ben is having a video game night here at the comic book store. There's going to be a whole bunch of systems, right? Yeah. From 64 on? Or
Even earlier.
even earlier? So maybe from Nintendo on.
Empire's Comics Vault.
Yes, on
Let's do it.
Fulton. So if you ever were playing video games as a kid or a teenager and said this could not get any better, it can, because you could be at a comic book store playing video games.
What day does this go out?
This will go out tomorrow because I'm going home and I'm going to edit it,
Okay.
and then I'm going to...
If anybody is in the Sacramento area that watches your show,
right.
Roundtable on Sunset in Rockland, we're doing a big fundraiser for TVP Studios. It's a big cosplay event. We'll have tons of cosplayers there. You don't know about it?
I don't know
You
about
need to
this.
go.
Okay.
It's at Roundtable.
When
We'll
is
get
it
you
going?
pizza.
What is
This
it?
Sunday,
Okay,
the
I'm off
6th,
I'm off Sunday.
July 6th.
Going.
Roundtable Pizza, Rockland, California, on
Okay.
Sunset Boulevard.
All right.
We will be doing a big fundraiser and taking that money and using it for equipment that we're going to cover Comic-Con with.
Right. Which, by the way, I forgot to mention that I did an episode called Helping Friends, and
Mhm.
I put a link. I told them about your Indiegogo.
Really?
Yes, because I know how hard it is to go to San Diego, and I enjoy. I'm finally, now that I'm getting older, and I'm finally finding people that have the same interests in everything, especially you, because we both have the same
Yeah.
interests in comedy and
Definitely.
comic books and everything like that.
We're like
So-
almost the same person.
Oh my god. so- But you have a girlfriend, and I have problems with girls.
I am very lucky to have the girlfriend that I have.
Yes.
I will not deny how lucky
Yes.
I am there.
You have the girlfriend I want.
You
I have, and you probably...
can't have her.
I know. No, I don't. But that's a whole nother podcast to me getting into crazy women always wanted to date me and fix their problems.
Trust me, I've been there.
Yeah. Anyways, that's why I get paid for it now.
There you go.
No, but yes. Well, we're see, I lose track all the time.
Your friends?
Oh yes, that now I'm. So I went on here one day because I didn't have a co-host to help me out. So I was like, listen, I'm gonna help friends out, and so I did you, and I did that guy that I met doing the video that interviewed me. What was his name?
Jeremy?
Yes,
An Idiot's Array?
Yeah.
Same network.
Same network. I promoted your network. I promoted your show. I promoted Jeremy's.
Dude. Send me that link. You need to send me that to me.
Yeah. Who else did it? I did Jason Doobie. I just did a whole
Jason Doobie. Awesome.
I did a whole listen guys, here's all these amazing people you need to go and check out because they're amazing people.
Jay, you are amazing. You are amazing.
I am only a vessel to other amazing people.
That's what we all are.
Yes.
But we all help each other. The reason a lot of our stuff is successful is because of friends, and especially guys like Jay here. And we couldn't do it without any of our friends. The reason we are here is because of the people that support us.
Not to mention the next stab. What is the next stab?
That'll be in 2 weeks, the 16th of July. At Luna's Cafe on 16th and N.
Yes, go do it because I had the best time last night.
Did you?
Yes.
It was an amazing show. They did a really good job.
They went so over the top with some things. I was like, this is amazing.
It was great.
It was great. Go there because it's an amazing. It's a small place too. Mm-hmm. It's not like a huge.
It's a
place.
It's a little cafe.
It's a little cafe. It's amazing. There's amazing people there. I couldn't stay longer because, unfortunately, I have to wake up at 2:50.
I left soon after you did.
But that didn't really work because apparently I don't know how to set my alarm. So I woke up at 3:45 when I'm actually supposed to be at work.
I left soon after you did because we had lots more work to do.
Yeah.
Because we don't rest. We don't sleep.
No, we don't sleep. We gotta keep moving. We gotta fill that hole. Constantly fill that hole.
Because we're always drinking coffee and always reading comics.
Yes. And wanting to be like Chris Hardwick.
It's not a bad thing to want to be.
It's not a bad thing. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, follow this guy on all of his things. Follow me on all of my things. And enjoy the rest of the day. And always, please read more.